Like, comment, and subscribe.
Our inheritance is turned to strangers, and our houses to aliens. We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows. We are drunk in our water for money, and our wood is sold unto us. Our necks are under persecution. We labor and have no rest. We have given our hand to the Masrayan and to the Assyrian to be satisfied with bread. Our fathers have sinned and are not, and we are born their iniquities. All right, Mashpaka. I was listening to a brother talking about the conflicts that we have been having lately. And he said that he no longer wants to identify, he no longer identifies as an Israelite. He said that he identifies as a Christian. I'm not going to give out his name. I told him he could come over today because I was going to be responding to his video. So I'm gonna just go ahead and start reading some Bible verses. And I put up there that diet on my thumbnail. I said, what is the best thumbnail that I could do for this right here? So I put up the sub-Saharan African and North African thumbnail, you know, for like the foods that you can eat. You get before this video started or whatever, you know. After it's done, you could go and look at it, you know. Pause your screen or whatever. When the video is done, and you can look at the diet and see the best things that you can take in and eat to help your body heal. And I put the food up there for a reason, because food has a natural ability that was given from the Father to heal your body. And we know that the Father created everything through Messiah. That is recorded in Yachanan chapter 1. John chapter 1. Yachanan chapter 1. All right. Now, if you've been here for a while, you will know that I address the sins that the Muslims did against us. I address the sins that people that practice Christianity did against us. I address the stuff that the Buddhism people have contributed and added to it. I address as many as people that came to mind when I was speaking. And I wanted to be as bold as I ought to be. And I pray and ask y'all to give me strength to be bold. Sometimes when you see people around you, you don't want to offend people. You don't want to be offensive to nobody. And sometimes the truth will be perceived as offensive. Now, what I gather from what the brother was saying is that people speak about people in such a way that it would cause that person to want to give up. And I felt that way before. So I can't come on here and tell the brother that I ain't never felt like just walking away from, I don't know about him. He said he identifies as a Christian. I told the Father, if it be your will, is there another way? Because I looked at the Bible and I wasn't going to say I ain't going to read that Bible no more. But I felt like Jeremiah sometimes back in those days when I was going through all that and the phases that I was going through. And I just wanted to close my Bible like Jeremiah the prophet. He said, I don't never want to speak for you no more. I felt like that before. Now, I don't know how deeply Jeremiah felt about it. I don't know how deeply he felt about that with his convictions. Because Jeremiah lost his spouse, and there was a judgment that went out. And he wanted his spouse to live, the woman that he was espoused to be married to. And people from another nation came in and started slaughtering people out of a judgment. And his wife, his fiance, was caught up in that. And see, back then it would be espoused to a woman. But there was times like with Jacob, Ya'aquabah. I'm just flowing on through it and I'm finna get to it. But like with Ya'aquabah, he wasn't espoused like a lot of people would think. Ya'aquabah was getting ready to be sent away to his in-laws, to his mother's brother's house. So he met Rachel at the well, and he wanted to marry her through his servant. So the servant checked her and everything, did the prayer. You got to read it for yourself. But that's not my main focus, so I'm not really trying to get into detail with that, or I go inside the Bible and read it. But anyway, let me jump back on the subject because I'm getting sidetracked. I'm sidetracking my own self. But anyway, sometimes you'll make a person want to quit. There have been plenty of times when I said, not that I just want to say I'm not a Hebrew Israelite. There's been times where I want to delete everything that I ever put online. I just want to just delete every account I got. And I didn't care, because there was a time when when I was a practicing Christian, and I let go of a lot of the false doctrines. But there was a time when, because see, some of us look at it in one way. We're mad with this person because of what they identify as, and then everybody else is gonna feel it in some kind of way. But we're mad at one person or mad at a whole bunch of people, and we don't want to cipher through it. We just sometimes want to be done with it all and want to run inside the desert or something. Just go somewhere by yourself and get away from it all. But you got to remember, inside the prophets, even Ezekiel, Elijah, he felt like he was the only one left. And when you see inside of the Bible, it say that we feel the same things that the prophets felt. We feel the same thing that even Moshe felt when he wanted to strike that rock, when he struck that rock, because he saw his people He came down off of the mountain. He did all these things obeying Yah. And Yah told him, say, speak to the rock. They wanted water. They was complaining about water. They was complaining about food. They wanted food. They wanted water. Complaining. All the stuff that they did. All the mercy that Yah showed them. All of the miracles that they saw. And they started complaining against Yahweh. Still, he had mercy on them. And Masha mediated for them. He mediated. And that's where I had to really, when I got along with Yah, when I got along with Yah and with my emotions and with my convictions and with the things that I was angry about or the things that I felt, and I got along with Yah, angry, and I was sitting down, and I never will forget this if Yah allow me not to forget. But I remember that day I was sitting in my bathroom on the toilet. I'm giving my testimony, and then I'm finna pop up this Bible verse. But I never will forget that day I was sitting on my toilet. And I thought about some of the things that I have said, or some of the things that I probably have said that possibly had pushed somebody away, or possibly caused somebody to want to commit suicide because of my convictions or whatever I felt. And I had to learn how to sit inside of my mess. But that pain, that horror that I felt that day, sitting on that toilet, and inside of my mind, I could envision in my mind of seeing like there was no more oceans, there was no more water, and I was like in a deserted place, and this was mentally in my mind. It just showed up in my mind. I don't know what somebody could call that. Call it what you want. I don't know what you could call it. But that's not the only thing made me afraid. But what really made me afraid is when I asked for Yah to help me and I didn't feel his presence. I didn't feel no peace. I felt abandoned. That's how I felt. Your identity is more than your feelings. I've gotten angry with my family and friends before. And just because I got angry with my family and friends before, and I said that I don't want you to be called my daddy. I don't want you to be called my mother. I don't want, and this is what we will say in our heart. We'll be honest with ourselves. I don't want no dealing with these people. Still my family. I can't say I'm no longer a Kennedy. I can't say I'm no longer kin to the Simmons. I can't say I'm no longer kin to the Johnsons. I can't say I'm no longer kin to my family. There's an internal conflict. We're looking for others to be leaders when Yah call you to lead in the situation. We're looking for others to be a leader when he told us to work out our own personal salvation. And it's okay to be angry. But we are told, even if you say you're a Christian, not to let the sun go down on your wrath. Let's look at this right here. Now, we say, I don't want to be called no Israelite. I don't want to be called this. I don't want to be that. Let's see. Let's read about Esau, on what Esau did. 26. This is not a message to condemn nobody. This is a message to show y'all in this situation right here. And why do I understand this? It's because I had to heed this. And it's always our decision to choose life or death. So I'm going to go ahead and read. This is Genesis chapter 25 and verse 26. Barashayath 25 and verse 26. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Ishal's heel. And his name was called Ya'aquabah, because he grabbed Ishal's heel. That's why his name was called Ya'aquabah. But look, let's keep on going. And Yadshach was 80 years old when she bare them, Rebekah. And the boys grew, and Ishal was a cunning hunter, and Adam of the field, and Ya'aquabah was a plain man, dwelling in tents. This is Israel right here, but right now this is Ya'aquabah. This is Israel. And Yadshach loved Ishal, because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Ya'aquabah. And Ya'aquabah sawed pottage, and Ishal came from the field, and he was faint. And Ishal said to Ya'aquabah, feed me, I pray you, with the same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Adama. And Ya'aquabah said, sell me this day thy birthright. Now why did he do this? Why did Ya'aquabah say to Ishal, sell me your birthright? And Ishal said, behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? And Ya'aquabah said, swear to me this day. And he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright to Ya'aquabah. Then Ya'aquabah gave Ishal bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Ishal despised his birthright. If you sell your birthright for something to eat, you don't really care about it. Shalom, Sister Naomi. And there was a famine in the land, besides the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Yadshach went on unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. And Yahweh appeared unto him and said, go not down into Masraim, dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in this land, and I will give, and I will be with you, and I will bless you, for unto you and unto your seed, unto you Ya'aquabah, and unto your seed I will give all these countries. And I will perform the oath, this is Yahweh's oath, which I swore unto Abraham thy father, Abayah. And I will make thy seed to multiply. This is the seed that he talking about, that he swore. And unto thy seed, and I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I bear with Abraham thy father. This is good news right here to Abraham. And I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of Shemayim, and will give unto your seed, right here, all these countries. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the Arats be blessed, because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge. Because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments. Now this is before Moshe was given the 2 tablets. Well, the tablets of stone. My statutes and my laws. And Yadshach dwelt in Gerar. And the Adam of the place asked him of his wife. And he said, she is my sister. Look at Abraham. Look at Abraham. Look at Abraham, what he doing. And she is, all right. So he said to his wife, and he said, she is my sister, for he feared to say, he was afraid to say, she is my wife, she is my Asha. Lest, said he, the Adam of the place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon. So because of the dispensation that the brother was in, that our father was in, Abraham, he feared that if he would have told them that that Rebekah was his wife, see right here, and he said, she is my sister, for he feared to say, she is my Asha, lest he, the Adam of this place, should kill me for Rebekah, because she was beautiful, Yapa, beautiful. And this is another thing, addressing something on your way to addressing something. White does not mean fair, but in Americanology, they say being white-skinned means fair, but that's not how you say beautiful in a bar. How you say beautiful in a bar is yapa. How you say what they call the skin complexions that they have, how you call that in a bar is laban. But that does not mean, laban means white. Yapa means beautiful. But anyway, learning something on your way to learning something. Because she was fair, she was beautiful to look upon. And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, and we know it now as Palestine, looked out a window and saw, and behold, and at this time the European people had not come down and set up a colony over there at this time, so they wasn't down there at this time. So this was the indigenous people of those areas that was down there. And if the Europeans was up there in their countries living where Yah had given them a lot of inheritance to dwell, then they would be right and they would be indigenous to those lands where they was at. So if the man from Ireland was living in his lot of inheritance, that he would be an indigenous person of Ireland. Just an example. And I'm saying this for a reason. And saw, and behold, Yadashak was sporting with Rebekah his wife. So Isaac was sporting with Rebekah his wife. And when we say somebody sporting, what do we think about when we say that in English? What do we think about when we say that in America? When somebody say they sporting. But anyway, of a surety she is thy wife. And how saidest you, she is my sister? And Yashak said unto him, because I said, lest I die for her. See, this brother didn't even want to die on account of them trying to take his wife. So he said, just tell them that you my sister, and they won't take me out. And Abimelech said, what is this that you have done unto us? One of the people might lightly have lined with thy wife, and you should have brought guiltiness upon us. And Abimelech charged all his people, saying, he that touches this man, this Adam, or his wife, shall surely be put to death. And Yadashak sowed in the land, meaning he planted seeds there, and received in the same year 100-fold, and blessed him. So that's enough with that. Now, if we go on, this is Yadashak, and if we go on, there's going to be another instance of Ishal. When they get to Ishal, you're going to see how Ishal, he sold his birthright. Ishal sold his inheritance. He sold his birthright. He gave it away. He sold it. And because he did that, Yahweh is the one that already had forespoken to mother and told her. Because, a lot of times we say we want to listen at what the sisters is saying or what the mothers is saying. But the mother had a vision, and in her vision, she saw that the blessing was to go to the younger, as we just read. But Rebekah loved her son, but her husband loved Esau. Okay? There's two blessings between these two sons. There's a blessing for Esau, and there was a blessing for Yaquab. Now, y'all don't always choose the oldest son anyway, as we see in the case of Reuben, how he could have, but Yahweh had it already set in his mind that Rehoboam would not inherit the birthright of the firstborn. But anyway, let's jump over here to Romans chapter 9. And now we're going to read what Paul said about your birthright and your inheritance. I'm just going to read this, and hopefully this right here penetrates you. And I pray that I won't have to even try to go into grave detail to break this down when I'm done reading. Hopefully you will stay long enough so I can get to the part where I'm going to be expounding upon what I'm trying to get at. So in verse 11 of Romans chapter 9, and you remember in Genesis, it said that the children of Adam, wherever they went to inherit their lands, that's what the names of their land was. So if Rome was at Rome, then they would be settled over there in Rome. If the Grecian nations, the Goy, was settled where they were supposed to be settled. The children of Javan, they would be settled where they was. The Moabites, the Hittites, and all of them were supposed to be inheriting their own lots of inheritance. But let me go on to verse 11. For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good. So this ain't got nothing to do with nobody's choice on this earth. This has nothing to do with nobody's choice on this earth. And when you look at, we can forgive Christians. When Christians do something wrong, they say, it's almost like they saying we the good ones because we do this other good stuff. But when they look at what the Muslims did, they say the Muslims is terrorist organization. But when Christians traffic thousands of people in the bottom of slave ships in the name of their religion, essayed them, amputated them, throw them into the water to be ate up by sharks, shot them dead, brought them over here into the harshest positions. There have been studies shown that they would work our ancestors so hard until their bones would be busting through their skin. And that many of them will fall out there dead out there. The women would be pregnant. They would murder the woman with the baby in her belly, cut open her stomach, cut her stomach open. They desecrate, Christians desecrate tombs for excavation purposes. Christians, people that practice the religion of Christianity, that everybody can separate them from, I'm a Christian over here, I'm a Christian over there, I'm a Methodist over here, I'm a Protestant over here, I am a Baptist, I'm a this, I'm a that. Christians can separate each other from the crimes that has been done in the name, in the legacy, in the memorial of Christianity. All of that can be erased by the great blood. Shalom, Monster Moshe. Everything could be washed away by the great blood, but if a Negro go inside the store and steal plowshares, they give him a life sentence. I just saw a video today of a person in blue that a lot of people say vote blue no matter who. Christians, I heard Christians saying this was Christian crimes here. But we know how to separate Christians. We know how to separate, oh, that was that Christian. Oh, they just fell down. Something was going on in their life. But if a Muslim do something, because Christians have done atrocious crimes. Christians have lynched people, hung them on trees. Christians was sitting at the tree looking at the man's body after he got burnt, buying body parts, buying souvenirs. Christians. That was Christians doing this. But we look at the Muslims did their stuff too. But we want to let we want to let Christianity off the hook. But we don't want to let the Muslim off the hook. We want to let them, we never, a lot of people with this mindset, I'm telling you, we say we don't want to do this religious fight. If you join Christianity, can a Muslim confess their faults? Can the person that say they submit in Arabic confess their faults? Is it a transgression if a person that speak in an Arabian tongue and in Arabian tongue say, I am he who submit to Allah? They can't confess their faults. They terrorists always, ain't they? But when we look at our people that say we are Christian, A lot of people saying now, oh, the Christians is this and the Christians is that. But I still see that a lot of us will fight for Christianity to the death. And if your brother or your sister say they become a Muslim, we fight them to the death. But we don't want that same fire to come back to us, because I make a proclamation. I say I joined this clan. That's what clan is. A clan is a group. Now, which clan do you follow? What is the fruits of the clan association that you associate yourself with? Do you associate yourself with the blue clan? Do you associate yourself with the red clan? I'm a Christian. Well, what is the crimes that the Christians have committed? And another person may say, I'm a Muslim. Christians are evil. They did atrocious crime. Well, what crimes did the Muslims commit? How they amputated our ancestors' privy members over there because they thought that they wanted to lay down with their women. Amputated, murdered those men. The Muslims did that. And the Christians, they know better. The Christians did the same thing. They amputated body parts. They hung the man on the tree like they hung Messiah on the tree. They hung the man on the tree that was taken from the kingdom of Judah on the west coast of Africa. This is documented historical proof. This is historical facts that Christians and Muslims was working together, tag team motion in this. Well, if we say, it's because it was a Muslim, think about this. They said if you don't become a Muslim, you're going to die. If you don't become a Christian, you're going to die. What is the difference? Death is death, right? One chop off your head over here and another one burn you to the stake over there. One put you down in dungeons. One amputate you over here. One amputate you, burning them on a tree. Which one? I just follow Yah. That's the best option. Now, if you follow Yah, he said, if you love me, why don't you believe my sayings? Why don't you? Well, I said, I believe the words of Yah. Well, he said that the children of Israel will be dispersed to every nation of the earth as captives. In the last day, this was his prophecy. And then after he gave that prophecy, he not only gave that prophecy, he gave you a promise. He said, I will gather them whom I have scattered. And he's the one that said, gather yourselves together, O nation, O people, not desire. He still call you a nation. But we don't want to call ourselves a nation. A lot of us don't even know what we're talking about. We say we not a people with this, with that, with this, with that. I'm Cuban. I'm Barbadian. I'm a West African. I'm a East African. I'm this. I'm that. Who are you? What religion did I have to? Now I have to follow a religion that I have to deny my lineage? By not denying my lineage, but denying my lineage at the same time? If 3 people robbed the bank and you was not one of the ones that robbed the bank, and all 3 of them was cousins of yours in your family, are you still not a family member to those people? But who robbed the bank? So who is the one that they need to go and look for? Do they need to look for you? Do they need to look for the other people in your family that had nothing to do with it? But we say Christians have the best religion. Using Christianity when it was first how can you fix doo-doo? Listen, the first time that Christianity was introduced to us, somebody say, well, that was their form of Christianity. Well, what was the people calling themselves before they started indoctrinating us with slave plantation religion? I am not trying to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Did David say he a Christian? Wasn't the Europeans following Christianity before the Messiah even came on the earth? Read. What was they following? I am not trying to say that I don't understand where people is coming from. But what I'm saying is that it hurt to see people thinking that who you is as a person is a religion, or the laws that your creator gave you is a religion. It's his instructions. So what are we trying to do? How can a brother correct another brother if he can't keep the instructions? Because we see the instructions as a religion. And if we break these instructions, he give us the blood. That's why the blood was shed, so we can repent for our sin. The blood of Messiah was shed so we can repent when we break the law. He know that inside of our flesh that there is a war that we got to fight. He already made preparation for us that if we fall down 7 times, we can get up again. Because that's what a just man does. A just man falls 7 times, but he get up again. But what person in a boxing match is going to willingly put his head right there so somebody can hit him? So if you fighting this good fight, why would you put your face up there so somebody can uppercut it? Why would you willingly put your glove down? When have you seen Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali not duck and dodge and move and keep their feet moving and work on their footwork? When have you ever seen Floyd Mayweather in the ring and the Apostle Paul used fighting to explain the Bible? When have you ever seen in the Bible, when you ever seen the King Dawud, who was a man after Yahweh's own heart, whom Yahweh taught how to fight, whom Yahweh gave victory with his sword? When have you ever seen Malak Dawud just go up to a man and take his sword and press it in him? Fighting mean you got your shield. That's what the Apostle Sha'awal taught. Take the shield of faith. Put the helmet of salvation on. Shod your feet with the good news, with the barath, with the renewed covenant, with the covenant of peace, of shalom. Clothe yourself with righteousness. If they say they're Christians, the Apostle Sha'awal didn't deny that he was an Israelite. He said, I am an Israelite from the seed of Banya Yamayan, circumcised the 8th day. Has Yahweh done away with his people? Yahweh forbid. They have not fallen, that Yahweh may do away with them. But the fall of them meant the riches of the whole world. Salvation is of Yahweh Dah. Do that mean that nobody else can call? Who teaches that? Whoever teaching that, they need, like the scriptures say in the book of Hebrews, that they need to sit down and learn. But y'all chastise us with his, he chastised whom he loved. So if your brother fall, that don't mean that I'm finna give up. The apostle Sha'awal said, oh, I would that I would, if I was a curse from Yahweh, for my brethren, for my kinsmen's sake. How many of us can say we love our brothers and sisters that much that we would say to Yah, oh, I desire, oh, I yearn that even if I was cursed, so that my brothers and sisters could be saved. What kind of love is that a man is praying to Yah in mediation for his people, in mediation? The apostle Sha'awal praying for his people. Oh, I would that even I, if I was cursed for my brother and my kinsman. What about the prophet Masha? What he said to Yah, he said, if you're going to do away with them, take my name out your book. He was mediating for them. You got to mediate for your brother and sister when they fall down, when they acting up. You got to pray and mediate for them. Yahweh said, I pray not for the world, but I pray for them whom you have given me out of the nation. He knew who was his. He knew the Pharisees that wouldn't receive him, and he knew the ones that would. He knew the Israelites that would reject him and the ones that wouldn't. It's not for us to separate the wheat from the tare and the tare from the wheat. Our only job to do, sometimes we forget this. We forget our only job to do is to say what we need to say. Be what Yah made us to be. And wait for the seed to grow and see how it grows. And if it don't grow right, then you take your bag full of seeds and you pour and you throw it out there again. You throw it out there some more. That's your job. You are a farmer. You're supposed to be farming. If a person asks me, I wish too, that if a person asks me, they ask me, what am I just say, I'm a farmer. I farm. Look in the Bible. A lot of people don't even want to. The prophets said that a lot of people wouldn't even want to identify with who they really is. The teachers, the leaders, or the seekers, the disciples wouldn't want to identify because your own people will turn you in. Who are we going to on this internet when we have a dispute with our brother and sister? And if you got their phone number, you can't call them up on the phone and settle that between one another. And if y'all can't settle it, bring another witness with you. And if they don't hear them, then you bring them to the nation. But you got to remember, when they get to that point, when you bring it to the nation, all of the whole world can hear it. And I agree. We shouldn't be on here trying our best to demolish our brother and sister when they do something. If they did something, they did it. They can't go back in the past and change it. They can't erase it. What do you think we should do about this? What judgment should we put on it? Should we pick up stones and throw the stone? Messiah already done made it where we can't throw no stones at nobody unless the police come out there to our house. So we know, okay, throwing stones, that's not being wise as a serpent and gentle as a dove. So let's get that out of our mind or think about picking up a stone and throwing it at somebody. So what is y'all telling us to do? Either we're going to leave that person alone, and if we really care about the relationship, then we'll pray for them and we'll tell that person the truth. And then leave them alone and let them make up their mind. If they love y'all, they'll come back to you. But the ones that calling it out, you don't have to attack them for calling it out. It just depends on how you call it out. My daddy taught me, he said, son, it's a right and a wrong way to do anything. It's a right and a wrong way to do anything. Either we're going to act like wild animals. If we're going to act like an animal, then why we ain't acting like doves? Why we ain't acting like sheep? Why is there sheep thinking that they sound like a a dog, but they bad. You're not no dog. You're not no wild dog. So we know that we have to battle within our flesh. We have a battle that we got to overcome. These is the things that we should be thinking about in our heart. But to that brother, no, I don't think you should give up and say you is this and that and the other. And you said that was your decision. You made it for yourself. I ain't said that I made it. Nobody else did. You said that was your proclamation. But like I said, whether if you want to believe it or not, I be in where you at. Receive it or disagree with it. You know, a lot of us, we want somebody to believe us when we pouring out our heart. But when another brother or another sister pour out their heart, we find it hard to believe that other people have the same like passions that we have. That if we get hurt, sometimes that's how we feel as people. And that's the part of Adam. But there's another part of you that bear witness that what I'm saying is true. And some people just don't have the ear to hear what I'm saying. For he said, verse 15, for he said that to Masha, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy. What did he say to the Pharisees and them? He said, I know who is mine and I know who is not. He say, so what he was literally saying is that you're not mine. You ain't. If my Father reveal himself to you, if he reveal me to you, then you are mine. But if my Father don't reveal me to you, then you're not my sheep. Yahweh said, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy. And guess what? Masha was listening to Yahweh Shai speak, because no man has heard the Father's voice at any time. And nobody can look at the Father and live. He sent his son on the earth to die on a tree for the people that are lynched on trees, for our salvation, for our reparation. Why every time our repair come up, everybody else jump in front of the line and throw our people all out the way, stepping all over them, throwing them inside the water? They'll drown you if they have to. They'll let you go homeless. They'll let you sleep in hurricanes like I had to. While people was kicking the can down the road, they saw the state of our people even before we recognized who we was in this time. But this, knowing who we was an ongoing thing. Our people was learning who they was in the 50s, in the 60s, in the 1700s, in the 1800s. They knew who they was. The Olado Aquino was calling himself Auda, and he looked in the Bible and he said, this looked like the practices of my people in my country back home. And what did Christianity do to his identity? What did he do to them that caused them to think that their Christianity was so powerful in Bombasa they can pluck off somebody else's name using their confederacy that they used with their councils that they had to blot out your name forever, to blot you out, make you a blot. The blind man was made all the way whole, not just his body, but all the way whole. And if he just made his body whole and not make his inside whole, because knowing who you is connected to your inside. Well, see, we think of that as connected to our outside only. Knowing who you is also connected to your inside. When a araya know what another araya is, there's something that comes with that. There's something called, not pride, but there's something called confidence come with that. When I speak, if somebody say my language, my English is broken, that's their point of view. I know who I am now. But I'm nobody without Messiah. The apostle didn't deny who he was. Did he lose his fellowship with the Father? Abraham knew who he was. Did he lose his fellowship with the Father? And when his children started acting up, did he give up on who he was as a person? Yahweh is the one that formed us in our mother's baton. He formed us in our mother's baton, in our mother's womb. It was him that made you who you are. He gave you your own fingerprint that they say with science that nobody else on the earth have. We'll get angry at people that's amputating people inside of hospitals, but why we ain't mad at the Christians that was amputating our people? And we'll say, well, they need money back for the children that got amputated. How about they never did it in the first place? But since they did it, what is the judgment for that? But if a brother do that, what you think they gonna do to them? If you took a baby out of the doctor's office, they practice a religion called medicine. They practice medicine. They're practicing medicine. They practicing medicine on you. It is what they believe in. A lot of doctors don't believe that people came from where they really came from. They believe that in amoeba and germs and a big bang and things like that. But they got stuff in there to show you where babies come from. But somewhere in their mind, strangely, they believe the first Adam and the first Asha came from an amoeba and a germ. But they know how to make a baby, and so they'll give you, and I'm gonna put this on adult, they'll give you, I'll just say it like this for the children can listen, they'll give you protection. They'll give you something to block you from babies coming inside the earth. Because they know where babies come from. Babies come from a seed. And seed come from a tree. And that tree came from a seed. In order for me to have my first batch of watermelons, or my first batch, which people like to mock us with, and they say they're Christian, but we don't blame all Christians for when somebody else say they're Christian. We don't blame all people from Europe and say all of them is in the Klan. We don't do that. But let one Negro do something wrong. Let one Negro do something wrong. They calling your identity a religion and blaming all of the people who believe in what the Bible said as if all of them is terrorists. Messiah didn't deny who he was. Throughout all of the scripture, he told them he was going to come through the seed of David. He told them that he was going to be of the house of Yahweh, the house of Judah. He didn't deny who he was, and how could he, who is the author and the finisher of your faith, who didn't deny who he was, who didn't deny his physical or his spiritual, who walked in fullness and full authority in who he was, and loved his people so much that he would die for his people, even on the tree, shaking his head at his own people that haven't done like that to any of us. Not in this generation that I seen, that we made a public spectacle, hanging our leader on a tree, nailing his hands and hanging, letting, like they say, letting the white man take out our own. And who did he use? The people that we don't never say that since they did that, they cannot be called Italians. Since they did that, they cannot be called Spanish. Since they did that, they cannot be called Portuguese. Since they did that, they cannot be called Romans, because they sinned. So therefore, everybody that's in Rome need to give up Rome to the Christians, because y'all not no real Christians. So therefore, y'all is not Romans. You don't matter no more. So everything that is in your land is ours. Did the Apostle Paul and them go throughout Europe claiming, stabbing and grabbing everything, so they did not interpret this thing the correct way? But they was doing what they was led to do by a spirit. But we don't want to receive that. What devil told them that the Father said that it's okay to lay down with another man's wife on the ship while he tied up? Who told him to do that? Did y'all tell that man to take them little babies and dash their head on the stone? Did y'all tell them to do it? Was that y'all inside of them, or was y'all allowing that to happen? That y'all is able to do whatever you want to do? And that was a judgment. But why would they be judged? If they would have known what they did to Messiah, even though that was our judgment that was put on him. But we said, our ancestors said, make his blood be on our head, on our hand, on our children, and on our children's children. They knew you was their children. They knew who their children was. What man, I'm going to use one more example and I'm going to get off here because it's really late. What man on this earth that if they babies in there fighting, arguing and fussing, it's going to say, because you did that, I no longer call myself your daddy. I am whatever religion I got to be in order not to be your daddy. I'm whatever religion I got to be in order not to be your mother. I'm whatever religion I got to be in order not to be your cousin. What can the president of the United States say? Because this ain't going right and I don't like this and I don't like that, I can no longer say I'm the president. Or can he try to do what he can do to fix it? Or do he sit there and say, I'm no longer the president of the United States of America? What if the animals did that? What if the animals, when they got in a fight with the people inside of their pack, what if the animals did that in Africa? They gonna die. What if the dingo dog did that? They're going to die because they strong together, but they weak apart. Why do we have to come on this internet and downcast our people and downcast ourselves like we do? You know, as a youth, when I was self-loathing, my mother gave me a toy. And I got to go. My mother gave me a toy. And it was her way, I believe it was something that she had made a mistake in. And she gave me a toy. And I felt hurt. And it's like nothing that I felt like it would match up and help me to understand what my mother felt. I wanted my mother to know that I wanted her to know how I felt, because sometimes you feel like a person don't know how you feel. And so I took the toy, even though she went in the room, and I bammed it. I threw it hard as I can, and I was crying. And I was looking at the toy because I really did. I was grateful she gave me that toy. I felt good that my mother gave me that truck, that little truck, even though I didn't break it. I tried to, but I couldn't break it. I was so mad. And guess what I did? I picked up the truck and I hugged it. I was a little child. And I went out, told Mom, I said, Mom, I'm sorry. And she said, no, baby, I'm sorry. I was wrong. That's how you resolve. When you get out of order, you go to one another and you apologize. All these religions was horrible. That's right, Monster Moshe. All these religions were horrible though, bruh. All of them. Christianity, all of them did atrocious crimes to our people. All of them used their religions to subjugate, to jump in front of us, to take our this, to take our that, to take. All the religions is just take. But that's their cultural practice. I can't tell the Ishmaelite man what to do. That's his culture. It's up to him if he say, okay, I want to believe in what y'all believe in. But that don't mean because they don't believe in what I believe in, I'm finna come over there and do the laws that I do on the people that's in my country, or this one, that, and the other one. But that's what religion do. So not using the religions that was used to beat our people down, to teach our people a lesson. No, I'm not finna do that. And that's why that day when I came on here and I really felt like that, I came on here and I said to y'all, I said, family, I really wanted to give up and that video gone because I ain't want no confusion. And I said, I wanted to give up, but I came back on here to apologize to y'all for being weak and giving up and wanting to stop, and repented to y'all. Confess my faults to my brother and sister and acknowledge what I did wrong. And I said, I want to do better. But anyway, fam, that's all I'm came up here to do, to try to give the brother some encouragement, and whoever else that may be feeling like I felt that day, that you should not give up on your people and giving up on who you is as a person, whether you believe it or not, because of something that people that is of your nation do. I don't see the people in no other country, when somebody is acting up in their country, they say, we're no longer gonna be this country no more. Forget about all of it. Let's leave and just lay down here and let everybody just come on in, break all the laws. Who cares? Fam, sometimes we get tired. Even the youth get tired. But Yah is your strength when you get tired. I didn't say this to condemn nobody. I said this to hopefully edify somebody. And I want to say again, shalom to those who listen. And shalom to you, Sister Naomi, Brother Monster Moshe, and to all who came and who will come here after if y'all were willing. Shalom. I hope you got something out of this. Shalom.